All right, guys, real quick, I want to go over our sponsors. First up, Healthy Made Easy by Mitchell Thompson. Phenomenal book, making nutrition and a healthier lifestyle, very simplified. Go check it out at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Also, he has a gym that's open, Combat Cardio KC. They go hand in hand. If you're trying to meet fitness goals, trying to have fun workouts, that's the place to be. They'll get you right over there. Next up, Yep Strength. Love the smelling salts. Love the pre-workout. Best tasting pre-workout I've ever had. The smelling salts are a hit with everybody. Really does wonders for you during the middle of a hard set. Love what he's doing over there, John. Doing a great job. Our last one, Jit Head Athletics. Jeremy, he's doing a great job with that company. Rash guards are fun, good material. They're doing cool stuff over there. All the TBAP merch is over there. If you guys want to help support the show, I greatly appreciate it. We got rash guards, t-shirts, head on over there. It really helps get the name out. So yeah, thanks again to all our sponsors. Thank you to everyone who watches and listens to the show. Please, if you could, like, share, subscribe. It really helps out. And yeah, we'll get back to the show. We're here, and we're gonna have a good conversation today, aren't we?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So we have Megan and Holly. I appreciate you guys for coming on. I found you on Instagram first. I came across your beautiful cat. What's it called? Pyrography?
Pyrography, yeah.
Pyrography. Okay. Yeah, it was really neat. I've seen that before. The wood burning stuff, but I don't know too much about it. And do you do it as well, or do you do a little bit of different art, right? The stuff I've seen from you is more like painting and stuff like that, right?
Painting, collage, kind of a little bit of everything.
Okay.
No wood though.
No wood burning. No, but definitely mixed media.
Oh yeah,
mixed
absolutely.
media. What is that?
Yeah, just different kinds of mediums, different kinds of supplies.
Okay, cool.
I did do something on wood recently on a whiskey barrel top. I
You
thought about
did?
you. Yeah.
Like just kind of do a test run?
It was for someone had commissioned it. They wanted something whiskey themed in Kansas City. So
really?
I got like labels from a bunch of different.
But it was paint though, right?
It was collage on top of the whiskey barrel and then pastel on top of that.
And sorry if I'm using the wrong terms because I have no idea.
Yeah,
so correct me.
No, that's all right. It was like drawing on top of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It turned out really cool.
It was fun.
Did you hit the thing over there? Sorry. Did you hit that? We're good? Oh, am I doubting you? Am I doubting? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Don't doubt Dom.
I know. For some reason.
How dare you?
Okay, so last week we had a cancellation weather,
Sure.
So like I'm a little off. So if it makes you feel any better, I'm a little off too right now. So
that does make me feel better. Yeah.
I think everyone in Kansas City is.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
It is that time of year. Yeah. I'm actually happy to see the weather changing now. I always forget how doom and gloom winter is. January and February.
Mm-hmm.
November and December, don't mind.
Right, because it's kind of new. You're just
And
in
holidays.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not too cold, It's like, I don't know, what's it get down to? Like maybe 30, 20 maybe. But then January and February are like,
yeah,
it's depressing.
It's hard to get through. I have a tough time during those months.
Yeah, I know. It makes you want to move somewhere nicer. But then, you start moving to like looking at Florida or California or some shit, like more coastal states. And it's like, then you're going to miss winter. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
Are you from here?
Yeah, I'm from Kansas City.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City pretty much my whole life. Yeah, all of my life. I don't know why I'm doubting that.
Yeah, you should know. You've lived it.
Yeah, my memory is not very good. But I've been here in Kansas City my whole life. Yeah.
Right on.
Yep. What about you?
Yeah.
I'm from KCK.
KCK?
Wyandotte.
Oh, shit. I was just in Wyandotte not too long ago on, I don't know if you know Black Magic TV, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just on his podcast. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Where are you from?
I grew up in Independence, lived on the Kansas side for like the last decade or so, and now I live downtown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Downtown.
I
How's
love it.
that? Do you?
Well, I do and I don't. It's exciting.
Mhm.
There's, you know.
It's just pros and cons, I'm sure, like everywhere.
Yeah, there's always something to do, but I kind
Yeah.
of miss grass.
You're right,
and-
right.
You miss grass.
Yeah, like
Having a
trees.
yard, yeah.
Yeah, things like that, and just, you know, quiet. Like last night, I was all night. There was a man just screaming outside my window. All night long.
Classic
Really?
downtown
All night
Kansas
long.
City.
I thought that's the reason why you do move there, for the cop sirens and the homeless people yelling and
You know, and usually I sleep through it, but this guy, I was like, well,
yeah, he was
guess
going
what?
at it.
Yeah, but you're right in the heart of the crossroads.
Oh, yeah.
So you're right where
Yeah.
all of the art is, all the
Mhm.
galleries. You live in a very cool, hip area.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
It's very
love when they do the
inspiring.
first Fridays. That's always
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
How late does that go though? Does it go pretty late down there? I mean, you
I'm
live
usually
down
wrapped
there.
up. So I pop up at First Fridays.
Oh, do
and
you?
I'm usually out of there by like 10, I would
Oh,
say.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Depending on where I popped up. It used to be, it's just different post pandemic, and like
Mhm.
downtown is changing. But
Yeah. How so?
I feel like there's just not as many people. People don't stay out as late. A
Right.
lot of restaurants, bars have
Change
closed down.
They've changed hours and stuff like that.
Yeah. A lot of parking lots.
Yeah.
It's hard to find
A
parking
lot of
down there.
paid parking.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And it's getting expensive too. I
Mhm.
mean, I think what is it, like 10 or 15 bucks or something like that, or is it more now?
Well, it
depending-
depends.
depends
It
where you
depends where
park.
you park.
Yeah.
Yeah. I park for $110 a month.
Ah.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because you live in, I'm guessing, an apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn, and they charge you for the parking.
Well, I could park on the street. I had a car. I had
But
my
it's
car
probably
stolen.
yeah, it's probably nicer to have a more secure parking. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I always wanted to live downtown. Like, if I didn't have kids, you know, and stuff like that, like it'd be a cool place to kind of,
Mhm.
you know, network with people and, you know, kind of hang out and nightlife, you know, that type of stuff. But
yeah.
I'm sure that gets old after a while. you know.
Well, yeah, I find myself staying in on the weekends because it's too busy, and I'll
Mhm.
just kind of look out the window, see
Yeah.
everybody on the street.
How high up is is it pretty high up where you can kind of
like
see?
on like the fifth floor, so I'm
Ah,
not
okay.
super high, but high enough that
Yeah.
I get a nice little view.
Yeah, nice little view. I rode that Ferris wheel.
Oh, you
thing.
did?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't
You got
done
to
it
see
yet.
the entire, you know, pretty much downtown, which was pretty neat.
We watched it being built from my apartment, and it came up so quick that we were like,
Oh.
It's a little
Yeah.
sketch.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the terrible location of that Ferris wheel? Why did they choose that spot? I feel like it could have been in Berkeley Riverfront Park and had a better view of downtown, but it's just in a weird. It's not even oriented. Like you have to turn your body to see downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's a topic
No,
for another day.
no. That is, yeah. Because I mean, I guess the riverfront would be kind of hard, though. I mean, I guess they could have built it over there by the stadium, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know where else they'd put it, though. I mean, it's a big ass Ferris wheel.
They
It is.
chose where they chose.
Yeah.
But I haven't been on it yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was kind of expensive, though. I feel like I don't remember how much it was, but I was like, damn, that's pretty pricey for a Ferris wheel ride, you know?
Does it take a while to go around? Because isn't it like
It goes on for quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah, it does. And I think it's like heated and cooled as well.
Oh,
So it's pretty neat.
nice.
I might be wrong on that, but I rode it I think it was when was it? I don't remember. It was pretty nice outside though. It was a little chilly, but when you got in, I felt like it was temperature controlled, but
right on?
it was pretty cool. Hopping back on to what we were talking about your artwork. I want to know how you got into that. Like, what the hell made you grab a log and just start burning shit on it?
Well, the very first time I picked up a pyrography pen was 2012. And
okay.
I was trying to make gifts for friends for Christmas because I didn't have any other means of giving gifts. And it was like, there was a pen at the craft store on sale and I tried it. And from the moment I smelled the wood and the smoke and the burning, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And I think it took me back to when I was a kiddo. I was just a really sick kid. And we had a wood burning stove growing up. And my parents would hold me in front of the fire to like ease my asthma, which hindsight's 2020, not so great for the asthma.
Not so great.
But it really took me to a place, just the scent of it, of
Mhm.
being super safe. Because fast forward to me turning 14, my mother passed away. So I don't have a lot of memories
Yeah.
with her.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2012, when I had the smell hit my nostrils. I was
Nostalgic.
so nostalgic, just felt really safe, and I was hooked. But it even goes back to when I was younger than that. When I was 6 years old, I used to sell wood art at the end of my driveway. So my dad was a carpenter, but he always overbuilt everything. So we just had like fucking
Scraps
wood.
of wood,
Just scraps of wood everywhere. And I would make wood art, and I would take like all of his like crinkled up nails,
Mm-hmm.
and I would make little wood art and like with crowns and make little hearts and stars,
Mm-hmm.
and I would sell it. And I had 2 customers, the mail lady and the dog catcher.
Really?
So I was killing it when I was 6 years old.
And they were actually buying your artwork?
Yeah,
That's
but
neat.
I think they just like pitied me.
For sure.
Yeah. She was already delivering the mail, and she's like, I guess.
No, but that's neat because those individuals probably put that seed in your head that like, oh, I can do something like this like one day, you know, when you get older
Yeah.
and actually make a living off of it. So,
Yeah. And
or at
no
least have a hobby to enjoy, you know, to be able to get away and just like disconnect from all the shit going on in the world and be able to have that, you know, that comfort zone.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one stopped me, and no one said, hey, don't do this. I mean, I
Yeah.
was very lucky that my parents did encourage me
Mhm.
to be creative. And so I started as a hobby pyrographer in 2012. I did it fairly consistently until 2017, and then went pro. I say that with air quotes because, you know, you do what you got to do.
Mhm.
But I ended up finding success as
What do
time
you
went
mean
on.
went pro? What do you
Like
mean?
started selling my art, started doing like
Oh.
in-person pop-ups and art shows and craft shows.
Uh-huh.
And then around, I would say the pandemic time, that's when I super niched down, and I decided I was just going to do pet portraits.
Mhm.
So I was doing just customs and commissions, and that went great until I decided I'm going to try the whole original art thing. And that was January of last year.
Mhm.
And so that's...
What's original art? What do you mean original art?
Yeah, just like my ideas. It's not like someone making...
Someone paying you to make something. Yeah. Okay.
Because custom orders, it's like, it's a safe area of art. Like, does it look like the dog? Good. You
Right.
did a good job. So,
It could be nerve wracking, I bet. Because you're like, because they're paying you to make something that, like when it comes to artists, like they have their, I don't know what word I'd use for that, like their thing, you know, that they do. Like some people are good at portraits. Some people are good at like maybe like old style art. I don't know. You know what I mean? But they have their thing. And then to do custom pieces, for sure they're coming to you because they like your style. They've already looked at some of your stuff, but I'm sure it's nerve wracking to like, here, put my child's face on this piece of wood or my dog's face or something. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, I bet, you know, because then you're like, I want it to be exactly, you know, what you just gave me. So that's got to be nerve wracking for sure.
It's a little nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
but don't ask me to do a human. Like,
Mhm.
don't ask me to do human art. Human art is so different.
I would
Like, I think you could kind of like,
But how though? You draw faces of animals really well.
yeah, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I just don't get humans more than I get like dogs and cats. But it was just way easier for me to kind of mess around with the dogs and have more creative liberties.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that kind of, I'll still do custom pet portraits, I think, if someone like requests them. But
Right.
I think I'm kind of branching off. I've been really inspired by Holly because she's been doing like, I
I'm
know.
so inspired by you.
Oh my God,
Oh,
that's
shit.
crazy. Because she's been doing like in-person art shows. A lot of the ones I've been wanting to go to down on at Berkeley Riverfront Park, talking about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Art garden. Come check it out.
Art garden?
Art garden.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's not at the riverfront, you said?
Berkeley Riverfront, River Market, First Friday. They were all over.
Nice. I love the river market like during the summertime. Oh my God. Like
Yeah.
going down there,
Yes.
all the vendors and the fruit and the vegetables and the
Mhm.
flowers. I mean, it's great. And then even I go down there for all the vintage stuff. Like they'll be selling like, yeah, you can find some neat stuff there. Kind of pricey.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
you know, it's very old things that they're selling, but you know, it's always a good time down there. You know, they got good food, you know, just good atmosphere. So,
Yeah.
and you can, it's so cool how you can just go and like have like all these different like styles of food and stuff like that. Like, I don't know
Yes.
what that area is called, but like that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The area where all those restaurants are and stores. And
Yeah.
Yes.
it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
But,
I am a big fan of the Amish snacks and cookies.
Which
They have
one's
like
that one?
like in the city market when they open up in the summer and the inner stalls open up.
Oh, in the center?
Yeah. They have like an Amish family that comes.
Oh, really?
And they have like pies and cookies and it's like affordable. So I load up.
Yeah.
Just carbo load.
Yeah, the Amish don't mess around. They do a lot of crazy shit. I seen like 300 of them pick up a house.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they were walking with
Yeah.
it. It was insane. I was like, what the hell?
Teamwork, man.
I know. And I never would have thought. I just seen a bunch of them. I'm like, these guys are not going to pick up that house.
They did.
They picked that house up. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But, and then I remember like how they build their stuff too. Like they don't use nails and stuff like that. It's like wood pegs. So like if you look at some of their, I don't know if they all do that, but if you look at some of their work, you won't find a nail on it. It'll all be like these dowels that they use, these wood dowels. Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty
I love
neat.
natural, like built by hand, created by hand
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That's why I use for all my pet portraits and my art, all the wood comes locally from Kansas City. So
Oh, does it?
yeah, it's from KC Hardwoods. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, they had like a slab sale once and they opened up their warehouse and they had piles of like $1 slabs, $3 slabs, and they were just like in cuts because they do like huge,
Right.
the big gorgeous tables with like the resin pours.
Oh, my buddy does that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so pretty. But
Yeah.
they let people come in and just like buy stuff. So now that's where I get all my wood. Is like
Mhm.
extremely high end wood, but pennies on the dollar because it's like the unwanted pieces.
That's kind of cool though that you're making beautiful pieces of art out of something they just want to get rid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really neat.
I think a lot of artists do that.
I do.
Yeah.
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 I was kind of a hoarder, and that's why I started doing collage because I'm like, why do I keep saving all these little pieces of junk, you know?
So what does it mean when you do it? Like I know what a collage is, but
Mhm.
like what do you do with it? Like when you
So when I first started, I guess this is kind of what I've been doing. I paper a canvas with, I use old Playboy magazines, like Time Life magazines. Oh gosh, you know, you name it.
Yeah. And just like cutouts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
cut
kinda-
out, and then I will just little, you know, I have like little drawings that I've done that I'll put in there, kind of like little Easter eggs,
Mhm.
you know, that I hide all over, just little pieces of, I don't know, something like, you know, I don't know, maybe like this, or you know, just different little trinkets, I guess,
Uh-huh.
that are meaningful to me in different ways, and I've held on to them for a reason. So I'm like, well,
And you put them on like a canvas.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of experimenting, lots of different types of glue.
How are you getting it on the canvas? Are you using like a certain type of glue?
Yeah, different types of glue. I've used all different types of glue. Sometimes I'll like sew things on.
All right.
Just however, right
get it
now
on
I'm
there.
working on a piece that I have an old Operation game that I want to attach to it. And so I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work, and I can, you know,
Nice.
it'll stay.
Nice.
And are you
Yeah.
more like when you do your collages, it's all like kind of vintage stuff, or you just do anything that comes to mind, anything that you think that you can put in there, you'll throw it in there?
I would say probably anything, but I focus a lot on vintage. My style in my own place has been mid-century modern. So
Oh,
I'm,
okay.
It's very popular right now.
around that area, that
Yes.
time. And I love going to the antique stores and finding the old magazines.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it just kind of depends. And just whatever the theme of the piece I'm working on.
Right. No, it's okay. Don't worry.
You're killing it. Don't worry about it.
No, that's really neat. And speaking of that, where you get your wood from, my buddy, he's made. It's funny because he just does this shit in his garage, and I'm like, dude, you gotta. His name's AD. He's the most talented guy I've ever known, and he has a full-time job, which I understand.
Mhm.
But his, you know,
Yeah,
like,
don't we all?
well, no, and I know, and
Yeah.
I tell
We're
him all the
doing our
time,
best.
like, don't leave it. I'm not saying leave it. What I'm saying is, like, start dialing in on your work, and I'm telling you, over time, it's not going to be easy, as you guys know, but it will at some point, like, either be extra income or a possible way to cut down part-time maybe and do something that you love. But I get it. I'm not in his shoes, and I'm sure it can be very, very scary leap.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this man can tattoo. He makes those tables with that's what I was getting to with, he buys these beautiful like cedar planks.
Nice.
And like he'll make a table out of it and he'll put epoxy in it. It looks like a river's running through the wood.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
I love that stuff. I think it's
Yeah.
so pretty.
Did that go out of style though? Because I remember at one point it was like popular.
It was really popular, I would say, from like 2020 up until 24. And it's kind of fading. But still, like the live edge wood is quite popular right now. The natural stuff, the mid-century modern designs in all aspects is popping off right now.
Yeah. And the rustic modern kind of look for houses and stuff like that. That's kind of still, that's actually stuck around, hasn't it, for quite a bit? I feel like it's been like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Joanna Gaines kind of was the one that kind of.
The whole farmhouse chic thing.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but I know that a lot of people do, especially in the Midwest. It's very popular.
But then I feel like she also gives like a little rustic modern vibes too as well. She
Like
kind
a
of
boho.
I don't know what's a boho. I don't know.
Like bohemian.
Little
Bohemian.
eclectic,
I don't know.
natural.
I'm not good with all the terminologies. I'll trust you guys.
Yeah. You got the art experts here. You're fine.
But yeah, and it's neat the stuff that he does. But like I get it. I'm sure every artist has dealt with that where they're like, yeah, I love doing this stuff, but do I want to take the risk? And then also too, I don't know if you all like deal with this as well. When it becomes like when you said you went pro, like does it become not fun anymore now? Like it kind of sucks the fun out of it?
At first, for me, it was really fun. I was just making whatever I wanted to make. It wasn't until I switched into the custom pet portraits where there became a level of stress with it because people needed their custom pet portraits by a certain time or they wanted it for the holidays, which usually the holidays are super busy for a lot of artists and creatives. So that was the only stressful thing is when there was time parameters. But I would have people fill out their custom pet portrait and I would say, are you in a rush for this? Is it a certain date? And I was really lucky because a lot of people were just like, whenever, which is like, I love it when they're just like, just do what you want, when you want. I love you. I just want to support you. That is the best thing you could do for an artist.
Can't you market yourself that way though, to where you let them know like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't do timelines. Like if that doesn't work, I'm sure that probably, kind of puts off some of the clientele where they won't come to you, but then at least you're not stressing and, or explain to them, like, if you put me on a timeline that's going to stress, it's going to make the artwork not come out how it should,
Fair, but I was using my income from artistry to pay bills. So it was like very real.
Yeah.
Like I needed
hard to say no.
Yeah, it was hard to say no because a lot of times if you have to make money as an artist, you'll accept certain projects.
And you'll do it for cheaper than
yes, you will.
Right.
Yes,
you
you
really
will.
should charge because
And
you need the cash.
Yeah.
Oh God, it hurts so much. But you do what you got to do. I think if you justify it because you're doing what you love and you're working within your passion.
Right.
So,
I tell my it's not gonna be like this forever. It's not gonna be like this forever.
Yeah.
And
Does it happen for a lot of artists where, is it kind of I know not all of them are able to do it full time, but it is that hard, isn't it, to be able to keep that momentum going over a long duration, because sometimes I'm sure like this guy or girl is doing great for like 2 years, but like, I'm sure then after that, it could just stop.
It's definitely feast and famine.
Yeah. Like I wonder what the time, I wonder what the career span of an artist is,
You're never not an artist until you die.
Well, I guess I guess I mean like full. I guess I mean like full time. Where it's their full time gig.
I don't know if it is full time for anyone. I don't know. Like
where you're actually living off of your.
But me, I quit my full time job in 2023. I had gotten laid off in 2020, and that's when I kind of started so I have my pop-up shop. I do graphic design. You
feel like that kind of pushed you a little bit?
That having multiple streams of income as an artist is smart, is just the only way to do it. And I have become like my Depression era grandmother, like with my Costco and my,
I love that.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get a paycheck next month or, whatever. So I'm going to prepare and I wouldn't have it any other way, though.
It's hard, but it's definitely feast and famine. Like there in 2023, from 2020 to 23, year over year, I was making more and more money off custom pet portraits. And I was like, fucking got it. Figured it out. Let's roll. And then 2024, it tanked so hard.
Really?
It dried up so hard. And I wonder, I talked about this with other creatives, if the election year affected that.
Maybe.
Because 2024 was hard for a lot.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, like, this is the universe telling me I need to go in the more original art direction and away from the custom pet portrait.
That makes sense, because even at like my job or like other jobs I've had, usually around election time, there is a little bit of like slowdown, I think, everywhere. So that could have
They're not making big decisions. They're not making like what you would consider like extra purchases.
Right. People
Because
don't
like
know what's
art
gonna
is a
happen.
luxury a lot of times.
Yeah.
Especially during election year, people hold on to that money. So
yeah, for sure. That could have been it.
Tough. And that's a lot of people quit. I mean, I've been on Instagram with my artistry since 2017, 2018. And I've seen a lot of people fall off.
I almost did.
Did you?
I was like, don't do it. And I think it's just such a testament of like, you just have to keep going. And it really is all about the process, and just keep going. Because, you know, now I'm out, like, I'll be in a yoga class the other day and somebody's like, oh, are you Siren Studio? Do you, you know, whatever. She recognized me from my sticker on my bottle. I'm like, yeah. He was like,
and that's that bump that just gets you to keep going.
Okay, right. Yeah. Like, you know, keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, it's a grind for sure. I totally understand it, because, you know, a lot of the times, like you said, at the beginning, you're doing it for either free or damn near pennies on the dollar. And then, you know, it's a slow growth. And and that's kind of where you're tested. It's like, because it could be 2 years and maybe you're doing well, or it could be 10 years.
Yeah, I think you just
you gotta love it.
You have to find your people, and it just takes time to get there. At least it has for me.
Right.
Oh, for sure, me. I mean, I definitely went the route of like just going hardcore social media, and I was getting all of my work just from like, I would do a post and I would get an order, and it was kind of really great, and then it wasn't so great, and then I realized, oh, I gotta get out in the real world and meet humans, which is wild. So
more introverted.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm fine like doing silly stuff for social media, but when it comes to like going out and meeting people, that's a trip. So this past weekend, I had my first art gallery showing ever.
I've seen that. That was awesome.
And it was...
What was that called?
The place is called 80 Santa Fe.
Okay.
It's an art gallery over in Overland Park.
Okay.
And they have a really cute little artsy area that I had no idea even existed. It's so fucking cute. And after the art gallery opening, which was a surreal experience, I went down the street to a place called Inner Urban Art House, which is like an art incubator. And they have like lots of artists in there doing their thing. Oh, I know. And they just happened to have an open house. I just like walked in. I'm like, okay, universe, let's see what you have to offer. And it ended up being in a room, and everybody followed me on social media. Like they all knew who I was. And I was like, oh.
That's awesome.
So it's flipped, because a lot of artists will make the art but not do the social media stuff. But because I work in social media marketing, like that's easy for me.
I'm sure it helps. Yeah, your videos are fun. And I'm sure that like that helps out a ton. Like it's got to. Yeah. Especially because you started in 2012? Where social media wasn't really that
right. Well, I started on social media 2018-ish. So from 2012, I was just honing my skill and making stuff. But that officially 2018 was when I was online. You know, she's entered the chat.
And speaking of that place that you're talking about out in Olathe, is that like is that outside or is that inside?
It's inside, yeah.
Because I thought when I seen the videos it was inside, but there's a girl I follow. She rides choppers and she makes like jewelry. I can't remember what her name is, but she makes really neat jewelry by hand. And I seen her at an art show, but it was like kind of like Crossroads style outside with like your tents and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I thought it was the same place, but maybe not.
I'm finding that there's just a lot of different places like that around
Kansas City and art. I mean, that's like, I mean, I would guess they do talk about it. I mean, like we have like the Nelson Atkins Museum and all that stuff. So I think Kansas City's always been known to have like great artists, but yeah, if you think about it, because like my cousin, Luis Garcia, he does a lot of art stuff.
Luis is your cousin?
Huh?
I know Luis.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Nice. Small world.
Small, very small. Kansas City is very small.
Yeah, it is.
He does the heart things. Yeah. And
Parade of Hearts.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
The big hearts you're talking about in the city where...
No, he does the hearts with these
like anatomical.
wings. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the Parade of Hearts.
Yeah,
Never
he
mind.
does a lot of stuff like Matty Roads and stuff like that.
Nice.
Like anytime I'm at like they have a festival or something over there, there'll always be a bunch of artists and stuff like that. And he's always done really cool shit. Like since I was young, he's always done art and really cool stuff. Like I think he does graphic design stuff as well.
That's where I met him first. He came and spoke at my graphic design class.
Oh, really?
I love that.
I know. It's so weird how Kansas City's so big but so small at the same time, isn't it?
I always say that it's a little big town.
Yeah.
It's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you've lived here forever.
Yeah, but
Which can be a good and a bad. So.
Well, I traveled in my camper and I did mostly West Coast for a few years, thinking that there was going to be a lot of art scenes. And honestly, nothing's like Kansas City.
Really?
It's the most, I think, rich area of art where like people are actually not assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's really nice, and you go into an art gallery and everyone accepts you and says, "Hey, how you doing?" And it's not like that everywhere. Kansas City is very unique.
Well, that's what me and Tyler were talking about when he was on here. Is that I kept saying like, "Oh, the car scene in California," and he's like, "What are you talking about? Like the car scene here in Kansas City is just as big as California, but they have this illusion that California is this mecca of, and Kansas City can compete just along with them as well." And I forget that. I guess just because I live here and I'm just so used to it, I'm like, oh, I guess I just think. And I've been to California multiple times. I think I've been twice, and it's great. I love the weather. I love some of the places I've been to out there. But yeah, you're right. There's a weird, and I'm not going to say Kansas City doesn't have its issues as well, but like when I went to like Hollywood and like went down like where they have all the stars and stuff that, the walk, man, that was something else. I wasn't used to that because I've walked downtown here many times, and I mean, yeah, there's an occasional crazy guy, walking around yelling and shit, but this was like, I was getting harassed by everybody over there. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, everybody was trying to sell me something. They were trying to sell me their mixtapes and shit. Like, one dude put a mixtape in my hand, and I was like, oh, thanks, dude. I'll check that out. And he goes, hey, that's $15. I'm like,
oh, don't touch anything. Don't take anything.
I was like, well, I don't have any cash. He was like, that's great. I accept Venmo. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
they're smart. That's a smart move.
No, and then
that's
get this, the buses, the shuttle buses where they take you around like mansions of celebrities and stuff like that. This guy walks up to me, and he gives me a pamphlet. I'm there with my kids and my wife, and he hands it to me, and he's like, hey man, this is really interesting. We do a lot of cool stuff on these shuttles. We're going to take you to see, all of Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh man, that's really cool, dude. I was like, give me a sec. I just got out of my car. Let me go in and check out these stores. I got, my family with me.
Yeah.
And I'll come back. And he is like, and just takes it right out of my hand and goes, you don't need that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, hold on, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, I'm not waiting on you. I'm like, is this your business? Like, you own this business? What the fuck are we doing here, dude? Like, literally, I was so heated. I'm like, hey, just keep going. Just stop. You're going to get arrested in fucking California. You're going to ruin your whole trip. Yeah.
Don't want that.
So just keep going. So I left, but I just couldn't believe how like, and maybe that they're all used to it, but I mean, it was weird.
Yeah, it was not necessarily for me. The Midwest, it's just not snobby. I just have not encountered any sort of like,
at least not as many, I feel like.
Yeah, I just don't. I haven't come across it. I've been very lucky that everyone's been extremely welcoming and helpful and
collaborative.
Yes, collaborative.
Yeah. You mean like artist to artist?
Artist to artist, but even like gallery to gallery. Like I submitted my art to a bunch of art galleries, and usually like you'll get a "Yay, you're in the show," or "So sorry," and even the "So sorry" letters are nice. It's like we're low-key Canadian or something, because they will give you a list of like, hey, but check out these other art galleries, and they'll hyperlink it to the other galleries and their open calls. And I have not experienced that anywhere else. Like Kansas City.
And that's good because like that whole old way of like shutting people out so nobody steals your spot, like That's so stupid. Like
Yeah.
how do things grow if there's no competition or no friendly
Mhm.
competition? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
you know, like you see you're working on something, another person sees that and they go, oh, that's really like, I need to get back on the ball here, you
Yeah.
know, instead of just like being a dick and just like shutting everybody out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you met other collage artists as well?
Yeah,
And how
so
has that
doing
gone?
all the pop-ups, I've met just tons of different types of artists.
Mhm.
I don't know a lot of. I haven't seen a ton of collage
I
doing
had
kind
Anth-
of what
Right
I'm
on,
doing.
right on.
So
I had Anthony Orpeza on, and I don't know if you know him.
familiar.
He does the Chief stuff. He goes by AO. I don't know if you've seen his stuff.
He just followed me. He's at the Interurban Art House and he has a
Really?
room there.
Dude, his artwork's really good.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
really good. And I was like, man, you picked the right time, because he's been doing it for a while. But I was
Mhm.
like, the Royals were doing good at one point when he was doing his artwork.
Nice.
The Chiefs were doing great. Like he was
Nice.
really like just riding that train, along with how amazing his artwork is too. It's just kind of neat how it all met up, and
Yeah.
really was beneficial for him. But even him, he has a full-time job still, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a full-time job. I'm
Yeah.
an art director for a social media marketing firm, and I do that Monday through Friday, and then
Mhm.
Friday night to Sunday night, I'm doing the other stuff.
Really? How was that working at a social media marketing firm?
It's really great.
Is
We
it?
consider ourselves boutique because we're quite small.
Really?
The company is based out of Houston, and it was my boss's company, and then she brought me on as number 2, and it's really flourished.
You guys
so.
just kind of help people kind of ramp up their social media. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll help them. Like, we'll do content shoots for them. So if they hire us for full-on social media management, then we're
Mhm.
posting that. But sometimes they just hire us for like video content packages. So we'll produce 6 to 12 videos that we consider evergreen, meaning they can post it and use it anywhere all the
Right.
time. It's not time sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do consultations and stuff. But it's been
That's neat.
really fun. We've been working with a lot of really mission-driven brands, and
Mhm.
I have
And very lucrative for those type of marketing firms too. Like I've seen a couple of social media marketing firms pop up on my phone,
yeah.
and it looks like it's a good business.
Some of them, though, I'll tell you what, we've had people in contracts with other companies and come to ours because these marketing firms, these graphic design firms will have a great deck, which is like their proposal, and it looks amazing and it's gorgeous, but they don't follow through. They're
Right.
not actually doing the work. They don't fulfill the
Oh,
scope.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of social media has just boomed, and then there's a lot. It's like almost everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I do social media." It's like, well, but do
Yeah.
you-
Or they're
but
using
do you-
AI. They're
But
like,
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I
using
just-
like a Opus or some shit, like to be able to
yeah,
keep
which
up.
don't get me wrong, I'm not against AI for social media marketing
Mhm.
for any industry. I
Mhm.
really am not. But I really think that it can benefit you for steps maybe 1 through 3. But the rest of the steps need to be finessed with the critical thinking that humans have to offer.
I completely agree, because I use Riverside right now for the AI generated clips. I just started using that maybe 10 episodes ago. I don't remember, but there is definitely a feel to the human side of choosing clips and
Mhm.
having it generated, because I'm having that issue right now. It's like, don't get me wrong, some of them are good, but the only reason I'm using it is for time saving. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Because I do a lot of the stuff, it's either me and him. Like it's too much to try to deal with, and
Yeah.
I've got other shit going on. So
Yeah.
it's like, I was like, man, I'm gonna lose a little bit of the creativity in this. Am I saying that right? Creativity of it,
You got it.
but it's gonna help me cut time.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
I'm losing. I had a guy named Ricardo on the last podcast, and he said the same thing. He's like, I won't use it. He's like, I like to choose my own clips, and I kind of miss that now, because then I could go in and really select and really change durations, which you can on Riverside as well, but there's a limit to how many they do, and then there's like,
They don't have all the B-roll you want.
it's-
Opus clips,
yeah.
you can bring in your own B-roll, which is what I'll do sometimes.
and I tried Opus as well. Why didn't I stick with Opus? I can't remember why I didn't stick with Opus, but yeah, it was neat. They would spit out like 60 clips, but
Yeah, but they're all not exactly good. I think you always
Yeah.
need the human touch.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that's where like the uniqueness comes out of it, but it takes time.
Especially if you're going to have AI write your captions, which I think is, you should have a voice. You should have a brand voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are going to become more savvy to what is AI produced.
Mhm.
But some people are dumb, man. You see what people like on Facebook? They're like, oh, look at this new Van Gogh. I'm like, he's been dead for a minute. Like, how do you not know this isn't a new Van Gogh?
Yeah.
We're dumbing down.
The TikTok brain rot.
Like, man, I'm like, that hand has 5 thumbs. That's not. How can you not know?
Mhm.
I recently asked AI to produce some B-roll of like just the Kansas state flag,
Mhm.
and it pumped out an echo of the Jayhawk, but it looked like a griffin mixed with a toucan.
Really?
Because it was kind of a Jayhawk, but it wasn't. And instead of saying Kansas, it said Kansos. And I'm like, man, no.
Yeah, it's like glitching out on you.
It's just AI like kind of gets it, but it doesn't really get
Right.
it exactly right.
I know.
It's frustrating. Why are we using it for art? It
Yeah.
just frustrates me. Like, we could be using it for other
Right.
things.
But I don't think it's going to compete with original art. It will, naturally. I mean, I'm sure in 10 years it's going to be even better. But I think what happens, it's kind of like cassettes or VHSs. Like there's a whole market for that, from what I've been told. That, there's a guy here locally, actually. I think he's like anonymous about it, but I've heard he's local. And he like makes the covers for the VHSs and sells them. And they're pretty expensive. I think they're like.
Oh, are you talking about Meat Popsicle? I think I know his art. Yeah, he does like big VHS tapes.
I don't know. I don't know. That might be him. But his stuff is like really dark on his Instagram, and it has like it's like thrillers, like killer serial movies and stuff, like serial killer movies and stuff like that. But like, I didn't even know that existed. Like, if I would have known, I would have kept all my fucking VHSs from my mom's house.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was ever going to come back. I do collect DVDs. I do collect those. But so what I'm going with is like, I think it'll swing back.
Yeah, I agree.
To that original, like people are going to want something made by humans.
I think people are even starting to turn away from like social and just like,
there is a shift of people going away from social for sure.
I think it definitely needs to be limited, and I have an issue of trying to limit myself. I put a timer on my phone all the time, and I tend to extend that timer.
Yeah. There was a guy we met at Social Success who said that he's like, every time you open your phone, if you're scrolling, you need to release post.
yeah.
Oh.
That I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
What is it? Create more than you consume.
Create more than you consume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I brought that up. We met at a place called Social Success, which is like a social media event that my company hosts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
That's
really
neat.
fun. But like, it's a lot about content creation, and there's a lot of people who think that if you open that phone, you need to at least be posting or doing something productive for your brand, not just consume.
Mindlessly scrolling.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on it. There is. I've learned a lot of stuff on there. I've found you
Great
on there,
connections and networking.
And
That's how I
then
found
you
you.
introduced me to her. Yeah. So it's a great networking tool.
Yes.
But yeah, it is hard to not get caught. It's the reels and the TikTok video, like they will.
And the ads,
they'll
whole,
get you.
the whole just like taking your data to market exactly what you want to buy.
The algorithm.
I hate it. It makes me feel gross. But
a lot of people hate on the algorithm, but I'm like, it's really just showing you what you
want. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the only problem I find with it is I like it because it'll show you more of what you're interested in, but then it's like, well, I kind of want to get out of just a bunch of cat videos. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see some other stuff too, but.
Yeah, there's a guy, I don't know if you heard of him, Gary Vee. He runs VaynerMedia, which is one of the biggest like marketing firms right now.
Gary Vee, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, you'll look him up.
I've probably seen him or something. Yeah.
And he always says that he'll go in and just randomly search something totally off brand for him. So his algorithm is showing him different content in different ways. So
that
he
makes sense.
Constantly stay fresh. Because it's really easy on social to be in your own echo chamber.
Yeah.
And just being shown the same stuff that you and you're just hitting that dopamine button over and over. But I think you can use it strategically. And that's what I try to do. That's why I find social media inspiring, because I'll search for stuff that's outside of my brand so I can just see.
The problem is like
being
what I see sometimes when I'm looking through things on YouTube, even like if I try to look at an opposite side of something that I'm watching, it's hard to find because it's like still trying to stick you in that bubble, in that echo chamber, And so it's hard for that search. Like when you type in something like maybe it's on the complete opposite side of whatever you're looking at. And it's still wanting to pull you, you know what I mean?
Oh,
to
yeah.
that, you know, like, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I get that, but I want to see this side as well.
Yeah.
You know
Even
what I mean?
Google does that.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Well, they also, you can pay to have your stuff at the top search, you know,
Mhm.
like the most searched.
Yeah. Yeah. So
There is a pay to play there. There is a pay to play.
Which I get it. It's a business. I get it. You know, I mean, what can you do? They're there to make money. But
That's what
yeah,
they
I don't
do.
know. Social media, you know, it's good and bad. You know,
Mhm.
it's done a lot of bad, but, you know, it's done a lot of good as well. How long
Yeah.
have you two known each other?
A little over a year now.
yeah,
Okay,
we
so
met about a
recent.
year ago in person, but I'd been following her on social. I loved her social media stuff.
Mhm.
And then when I found out that that's what she does for a living
Yeah.
and they had this conference, I was like, I do marketing, but I kind of fall off social all the time. Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. But you do graphic design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly my thing, but then I want to do it for my own business anyway. So
yeah, you've been doing well though here lately. Like
I
talking
try.
to camera, storytelling. But it's been about a year and a half since we've known each other. And it was really fun meeting her and then getting to know her brand. Because she was the only one that came to the conference last year that was from Kansas City.
Mhm.
I was just like so excited. I was like, I got someone from Kansas City to come.
Mhm.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
last year it was in Austin, and this year it's in Houston coming up in April. But it's people from all over the country and all different
That's
entrepreneurial walks
neat.
of life that want to learn about social media marketing. And
I was just in Houston. I went on a cruise to Costa Maya and Cozumel, I think it was.
nice.
Yeah, it was fun. I'd never been on a
Nice.
ship before,
Yeah.
and
was it?
I recommend it, but Jesus Christ, we hit the most craziest waves
Oh no.
like the last couple of days. Yeah, talk about being seasick. I was cool the whole time. Last 2 days, out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like the cruise? I mean, you had a
It was fun. It was fun. It was really neat. I mean, everything's pretty much, you know, you pay up front for everything. So when you go eat, you could pay extra for certain foods and stuff like that. But it was neat. They had like a bunch of really good food, actually. I was very surprised on a
Right
cruise
on.
ship. I thought it was going to be like kind of half-ass, you know. There are burgers and stuff like that, like kind of just regular food.
Yeah.
But even their burgers were really good. That guy, his name's Guy. He has the
Fieri?
Yeah. That guy, like I think that's his hamburger spot there.
Oh,
So
right on.
I thought he actually did tacos, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's
What does
a lot
he do?
of
He's got one here, doesn't he? Isn't it a
Yeah,
taco,
it's a taco
restaurant or
place,
something like
guys.
that? Yeah, but I
Yeah.
swear to God, that was his burger. I might be
I
wrong
will,
on that.
because didn't you do like diners, drive-ins, and dives? So
Yes,
that's
yeah.
in his.
Oh, so he does other
Yeah,
stuff.
he's kind of
Okay.
been
I don't know too
thing.
much
I don't
about
know.
him,
I
other
don't
than I know if I see a picture of him, I know who he is.
I think everyone does. Yeah.
The flames.
Yeah. I wonder how the hell he got so famous. I just feel like he's been
'Cause he's
around almost my
ridiculous.
whole
He
life.
Yeah.
looks stupid.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Speaking of the city market, he actually went to Pigwitch down in City Market and did a whole review down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there's a lot of cruises that go out of Houston. It's a big cruise. I've
Yeah.
never been on a cruise. I'd rather shit in my hand and clap
Yeah.
than go on a cruise.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Just because there's just a lot of people and they're all
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that's it's
like
somebody's gonna
recycled
get
air.
sick.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah,
we're all
you
stuck
do
there
definitely
together.
get sick. Yeah.
That's kind of.
It's not for me.
Yeah, you catch
I've
something.
heard good things though. I mean, you like.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
like
glad
it.
you had a good time. I mean, kudos to you.
I did. You should try it.
I don't
Try
think
it
I
before
will.
you buy it.
I don't think I will. I don't. Someone would have to give it to me for free,
Mhm.
and it would have to be with people that I really enjoyed.
Well, it was just fun. It was It was like a city on the water. You know what I mean? Like it was. They had plays and concerts and a nightclub and a place for kids, like a kids area, and it just had everything you needed on there. I thought it was pretty neat. But
All inclusive package. It's probably great for families.
yeah, it was great. The only thing is we went during that last Chiefs game, and it always drives me nuts how crazy dudes get over football. But they literally, one guy was trying to fight another guy, and we just got on the cruise ship, and it happened, I think,
Classic.
well, Chiefs were playing Jacksonville or something like that. Dom, I don't remember what game. Oh, no, it was the Texans. We were playing the Texans. That's what it was. And it was funny because we were in Galveston. But,
right on.
yeah, so there was a bunch of Texans fans and then a Chiefs fan. I can't remember who started what, but like, yeah, it's like we just got on the cruise ship. It's been 2 hours. You guys are trying to fight already?
Yeah.
Like, are we already drunk?
Yeah.
You know? So
Well, that's what you do. Usually there's like drink packages. So I
right.
imagine.
Yeah, and it's expensive. It's like $800 a person for a
Holy
drink package.
moly.
Yeah, which
So
I
you
did not
best
get
be
that.
drinking up.
Oh, I did not get that. I don't drink as much, but I guess it's worth it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be fucked up on a cruise ship the entire time. That
Oh
sounds kind of miserable.
God! Could you imagine being hung over?
I know. And then what's crazy is I heard that like, oh yeah, sometimes the waves get choppy and blah blah blah. And then they have like a Facebook group for the cruise, and like everybody's talking on there, which is kind of wild. The shit they talk about.
Oh,
Like somebody will write on there like, learn how to control your alcohol, and then some other person will hop on. Are you talking about me? This is what happened. It's like,
Oh wow!
yeah, like people are on there just like
Ooh,
drama.
drama.
Yeah, because it does get wild. Like one time we were in the pool, or we were eating next to a pool, and some lady was just like blasted, like
nice.
concerned. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure we've all been there at one point, really fucked up. I get it. But this lady looked like she was like dead. Like they had to pick her up. Like she couldn't even like, you know how you can do that drunk walk? You know what I mean? Like everyone's holding you, but you can do that drunk walk. This lady was just like toes dragging. They had to lift her up and like take her to her room.
She had a bad time.
Very bad. And it was like
You gotta have water in between.
Well, it was like 10 a.m. too. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like I'm all for day drinking, but gee.
Yeah.
But
Day
yeah.
drink responsibly, folks.
Yeah, especially because she wasn't that young. So I'm like, oh, that's not. I think you'd learn maybe by now. But no, hey, you had a good time. If you had a good time, go for it. Who am I to judge?
I'm too old for hangovers. So.
Oh,
Fuck
I
that.
can't
Well, that's what
handle
made me
I
stop
can't
drinking
handle
because
it.
I used to drink a lot and like not like I wasn't like an alcoholic, but I was definitely a social drinker. And the hangovers, I'm just like, it's taking like 3 days instead of one. You know?
It's not.
You
I
know.
know.
Do you drink still? Are you drinking?
I kind of like go back and forth,
Same.
and I'm currently off the sauce.
Off the
but,
sauce.
I
don't
think
know.
a drink
I don't know
like
if it'll be
once a week,
forever.
twice a week isn't too bad.
Yeah.
But like when you're doing like Thirsty Thursdays and
Well, I live
Flashback
downtown,
Friday,
a bunch of singles. Like it gets wild and crazy. I mean,
I
we're
bet.
like out doing tequila shots, and I'm like, oh, I am too old for this. I'm the oldest one of the
Yeah.
bunch, and
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I had my brother goes out to Westport a lot, and he's always trying to get me to go out. And I'm like, dude, I've been to Westport enough. Like,
No Westport.
and I tried to go to Westport, like, what was it, like maybe a year or two ago, and we went to Tin Roof, and I was like, I remember why I don't come to this shit, because like one, I had white shoes on. I don't know what I was thinking that day.
Oh, no.
Everybody stepped all over them,
Uh-huh.
which I'm not like a crazy shoe guy, but like. I walked out of there, the shoes were black and they were white when I walked in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like it gets that messy. You know, people
Yeah.
spilling drinks and shit and walking on each other. And then I just remember how like when you're like, I mean, I was drinking, but I wasn't getting fucked up. And I just remember how stupid people are when they're getting like drunk. I'm like, damn, this is how I
Wasted.
look like.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to
like,
be that person. That's
I
embarrassing.
don't want to like lose control of myself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I do enjoy
Mhm.
drinking, but
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
where you have to go like incognito for 60 days.
Yeah,
because
no.
What did I do?
Yeah,
No, I don't- I don't do
you're,
a bender.
you're like going over it in your head. and
I do try to
the
make sure my
worst
phone's put
feeling
away. Like,
ever.
don't post. Like, just we're gonna do this all later.
Yeah.
I hate when I get on social media
if-
when I've been drinking. Like,
That's the
Oh,
rough
yeah.
one.
This is, I hope
Yeah.
I don't do anything weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
post a
Let's
snap that
go
you're gonna
live.
have to delete the next day.
No, those days are behind me. I do like drinking though. One of my clients at Fun Love Media is a wine bar and brewery up in Platte City.
Oh, I love wine. Yeah.
So I'm up there quite a bit, and I always have to pace myself. So because Billy, the head brewer, would be like, "Oh, try this. I just made it, or I just brewed it, and I'll drink it, and then usually I can have, I would say 3 to 4 beers, and I'm just fine."
I try to keep a water in between them.
Yeah,
That always
and they have
helps.
water there. I'll have a few drinks of water.
Yeah,
But
that
then,
always helps.
Like I had 2 of his beers. It was like the anniversary beer, I want to say. And I'm like, I am fucked up. Like I did not realize how strong it was. And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. That's 13%.
Oh god.
And I was
Craft
like,
beer.
Billy,
Yeah.
warn a bitch. Like I got shit to do
Yeah.
tomorrow.
But give me another one.
But yeah, give me another one though. It was really good.
Oh,
He's
man.
amazing.
It's always good up until that point, and then it's like when you keep going that extra 2 hours, then it's like,
Yeah, that's what kills you.
Well, I'm a
Should've
sucker
went
for
home.
whiskey. So I'll, like, if I have a few whiskey drinks, then it's
Mhm.
easy for me to be like, I'll have another.
yeah,
Another.
I like tequila.
Yeah, you like tequila.
really? What's your
Same.
whiskey?
I actually like a cheaper whiskey.
I don't blame you.
It's called
Jack
Tullamore
Daniels on that
Dew,
one. Yeah.
and it's an Irish whiskey, and it's not like the top shelf, it's not bottom shelf, but it's right there in the middle, and it's just.
I like Maker's Mark. It's like not cheap like Jack, but it's like a little in between. I think it's like $10 more or something like that a bottle. But
Yeah, Tullamore Dew, it's about $25 just for a fifth, which isn't bad. And, but if I'm going to be going out for whiskey, I like the Rieger. I like Tomstown a lot.
You like straight whiskey or do you mix?
I usually like straight whiskey just on the rocks. But here lately I've been way into old fashions, but I can only have a couple of them because I don't like super sweet.
What's the old fashioned have in it?
It has like bitters and
it's like an orange and all that.
Yeah, there's an orange and there's something else.
There's a cherry. I know
there's a cherry. Yeah.
I think I've had an old fashioned one time. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I just don't like super sweet stuff. But I recently, Britt, the owner of Fun Love Media / my best friend, she loves tequila. So when we were in Vegas a few weeks ago for a client content shoot, she ended up having just a bottle in her hotel room. So we were drinking that with club soda and lime.
Oh, I think I saw some social media content around that.
Yeah,
I liked it. That was great. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. I had a neighbor back in like 2014 at my old house, and he would always drink whiskey water. And he poured me one time, and I was like, whiskey water? Because I always drink it with Coke. And he's like, yeah, dude, whiskey water, man. I'm telling you. He's like, the Coke's what fucks you up the next day.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me try it. And I've drank whiskey water since.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Just watered down whiskey?
Pretty much watered down whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I feel like it's more refreshing. Like you still get that nice bitter taste of whiskey, but then kind of the hydration side to it. So
yeah. I like most Irish whiskeys. That's usually my go-to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've had any Irish whiskeys. I'm trying to think.
It's lighter. It's smoother.
But I know Scotch. Like I like Buchanan's. Buchanan's Scotch is really good. Yeah, with pineapple. That's probably the only sweet drink I will drink. I've started to like more sweeter drinks because I was like that too. I didn't if it tasted like a juice, like yeah, I'm good. Get that out of here. Plus, it's dangerous. I'm like, I'm fucking drink like 10 of these things.
Yeah, someone gave me a twisted iced tea once, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's just easy to drink. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Dangerous.
Or like the girlies that drink the seltzers, the hard seltzers.
Oh, yeah.
Those are too easy to drink too, so I
or like even the margaritas. Like that's a lot of alcohol in there and they taste delicious. I get it, but
margaritas.
You wonder why you're getting fucked up. You're drinking that big ass margarita bowl,
$20 you got the sugar and the alcohol all together.
Yeah, the sugar is what really just it attributes to that hangover the next day. But
I'm real big on it's called keto chow and it's essentially like an electrolyte water. I swear by it. I take it anywhere if I'm going traveling and drinking.
Nice.
Really? I use the liquid IV. I know it's
I've
got a little bit
of
sugar in it, but
people like that too.
Yeah, I like it.
I had one earlier today.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you? Post workout?
Yep.
Nice.
Damn, I don't know where the hell we got off on.
I was talking about Houston and we talked about cruises and now we're here.
And cruises and it's kind of how my podcast goes. It's like freaking red strings everywhere.
Yeah.
But I had a question on like the pyrography.
It's like photography, but pyro.
Okay.
Pyrography.
What do you use for that? Is that I have one upstairs, like a soldering iron?
Yeah, it's essentially a soldering iron, but the pyrography pen is more of a compact unit. And you can get like a plug and play one, which will get up to, 700, 800, degrees. Sorry.
No, you're good.
But my pyrography pen is an artisanal one, and it gets up to about 1,200 degrees. But it's specifically engineered to not get so hot in your hand. And it has a variable temperature, so I can have it down to
you can dial
1, or I can have it up to 10, where it gets like super, super red hot.
Because I have one, and it came with a bunch of different bits that you put on the end, like different shapes and stuff like that. Because I was doing basically I was using it for the burning side of things. It's not on wood, on plastic, on like gun handles and stuff like that. It's called stippling.
Yeah.
And it just helps with like grip and stuff like that. And that was pretty neat. But I never tried wood, which I feel like would be a lot better because the smell of burning plastic is disgusting.
That's a tough one.
And I'm sure over a time period, like that is not good for you. I did have a mask on when I used it, but
I always use a charcoal lined mask.
I seen that. I was wondering what that mask was because you didn't use like a regular white like 3M mask. I noticed it was like a black, had a filter on it.
Yeah, it's essentially a fabric mask that has charcoal liners that you can swap out and different different vents you can swap out.
Oh, nice.
I mean, there's a lot of different thoughts on the masks. Not to like trigger anyone for 2020.
Right.
But I mean, it's essentially you're not supposed to, inhale it. I mean,
No, yeah.
it's a lot like a campfire, but if
Yeah.
you're at a campfire at 3 days every week,
Yeah.
it's not
No,
great for
and
you.
masks work as long as they're form fitted to your face and
Yeah.
they're a proper rating, like usually N95 and up is kind of what you want to shoot for. And it also depends on what you're using it for. You know, there's different levels of it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And I always ventilate. I always have a fan
Right.
pulling away the smoke,
right.
unless I'm trying to get a shot with the smoke for social,
Yeah.
which is what people like.
And plus, I mean, you're not going to be able to nerf your entire world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you do the best you can and
Do the best you
kind of
can.
go with it. But no, that's neat. What are you working on right now? Are you working on anything at the moment?
I have an original series at that 80 Santa Fe Art Gallery, and that was my
Mhm.
millennial series, which it's called Smoke and Mirrors, and it's essentially my perspective of the millennial story arc from like being the last generation to have no technology to being completely inundated with technology.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that. But then when it came to new pieces, I had a 1 and 2 month dry spell. Like just no inspiration, no nothing. And it wasn't until last Sunday that I was finally re-inspired to, make something. So I have a
Right.
new series in the works, but I don't know if it's going to be a series. I'm just trying not to define it. I'm just trying to be cool. I'm just trying to let it be what it's going to be. Because
Yeah.
I'm such a control freak. I don't know about you, but like a lot of artists are like more chill and they're like, I'm just going to make this. And they'll have like 6, 7 mid projects going at once. Is that you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can't fucking do that.
Yeah, sometimes
No.
too many open doors.
I can't do it. I have to
yeah.
start one and finish one, and I'm trying to let go. That's
I'm
Mhm.
trying to, well, I do a little bit of both, but
yeah.
Mm.
I have a hard time with it. I have to start something, or I have to think. It's like that series that I did in the art galleries. Like I made 10 pieces for that series, thinking naively that all of them were going to get into a gallery, and so I spent a year trying to get them into shows. Rejection. I mean, so many rejections.
But do they explain to you why you're rejected? Or do they just
Um,
say, sorry, we're going to go with somebody else, blah, blah, blah?
Usually it's like they only have so many to pick from, and there's like so many artists here in Kansas City submitting, and they're like, oh, we only had 5 spots for this year
Right.
or whatever. Because honestly, there's not a lot of galleries. There's not a lot of pieces in galleries. It's usually they all have their space, and it's not like
Mhm.
packed to the gills with artists. So
Right.
it's kind of a coveted spot. But it's hard to get in there and to keep going with all the rejections. So,
Mhm.
but now that I'm re-inspired, I'm making new stuff now. And how often are you making new stuff?
not as much as I would like. I feel like some of my projects just sit forever, and then I do have so many, and it's like I get sidetracked, and well, maybe I'll try experimenting with this, and So I really appreciate that you took that year, you got all those pieces done, because now you have this like full body of work that you have something to say about it, and
Yeah, I really tried to take it up a notch because I'd never been in galleries. I really didn't think, for some reason, I thought I'm not a real artist if I'm not in an art gallery.
I
Like
feel that way too.
was like my
and I'm
goal.
not in a gallery. I
Is
feel
that
like
a-
I'm
is
just
that a thing, though?
experimenting.
I think it's kind of a thing for artists. It's like kind
It's
of
an accomplishment for
It's
you
definitely
guys?
an accomplishment to
Yeah.
be in a gallery.
Yeah.
Because
It's like validation.
it was validating to finally get that. Because that morning that I got into 80 Santa Fe, I had gotten a rejection from another gallery. So I got a rejection. It was like the 8th one. And I was like, fuck this. I ain't doing this anymore. I suck. I'm not smart. This is so stupid. And then that afternoon, I got the acceptance letter. And I just bawled. I just bawled.
Yeah, but you could say though, like, who knows who's looking at your artwork, and like, what if it's just not their like what they're appealed to, you know?
Right.
And
So
so it may not
subjective.
necessarily be that your artwork is not good enough. It's just so happens that the person that's having to decide what to put in there just may not have been their thing, or it may have been really close. You never know. But that's the cool thing about art is there's somebody out there that is going to love your work, no matter what it is. I mean, I've seen some crazy shit that people sell, and I'm like, how did you sell that? But there's somebody out there that wants it.
You just got to find your people.
Yeah.
And that it comes back to the persistence that we were talking about earlier. If
Yeah.
you just don't quit, if you can just keep expressing yourself and keep having the courage to put your stuff out there, it's going to happen eventually. Because how can it not? You know?
Yeah.
And I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
like the truer you are to yourself and like following what it is that you really want to do, then you really do start to find your people. But it can be so terrifying because it's like, well, I
Yes.
want to create what people like. People like Chiefs and Royals. Do I need to make a Chiefs and Royal? You know,
Yes.
like,
Oh my gosh.
and I feel like my art is not really like super selling off the shelves or anything, but I'm doing what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
the people who like it for that,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah, why do something if it's not in your passion to do
Yeah.
just to make money? I
Money.
mean,
But it's so
I'm-
easy
yeah.
to fall into that. It's so easy.
I can
it
understand
is.
that. I
And then you
understand
burn
that.
out and, you know,
Yeah.
You do get
it's-
burnt out if you're just
Yeah.
doing like Royals and Chiefs stuff all the time. Unless that's
Right.
your passion.
Unless that's your passion, right?
Yeah.
So,
But I'm surprised more of these artists aren't getting hit with like cease and desist letters. Because one time I wood burned one Baby Yoda ornament. This was in like 2018, and Disney sent me a
Yeah,
cease
that's
and
Disney
desist.
though. Yeah.
Man, they jumped on that hard. I was like, this motherfucking ornament's $15. Disney, calm down.
They want their $3.
They want their $3.
Copyrights, yeah.
And so then I started marketing it as like tiny baby alien or something.
that's
like
funny.
I just
You could probably just change like a a little bit of like aesthetically, like I don't know, make them have like different colored eyes or something like
you have
that.
to change it.
Just
But
slightly.
It wasn't for me. Once I started diving into the original art and really like taking my feelings and funneling it into a creation, it's terrifying because it's literally a part of you. It's like a super intimate part of you, and you're like showing it to the world in this raw, authentic way, and it's so scary.
How long is that process though? Is that not planned? It just happens for you?
The process of selling your art or getting into gallery?
of finding that inspiration to create that piece.
Oh, I think it's different for every piece, every artist.
Really?
Because like she has a lot mid-process, right?
yeah, I think a lot of what I've been working on, I just have been like dealing with all of my life's trauma
Fair.
and putting it on the paper. So it's a lot of like, a lot of about being a woman, a lot about dealing. The piece I'm working on now is called Compulsive Consumption, and it's kind of like the state of the union now. It's like a sexy, broken Statue of Liberty and
Sexy
kind of
Statue of Liberty. I
themed
like it.
around that. But it's also, yeah, I don't know.
It does take a while though. I mean, when I finished my last series, I finished that February of 2024. And then from then up until now, I just had a notebook of like random thoughts and ideas that inspired me. And I had no idea how they would come together, but I knew I wanted certain elements.
Is that what you do though? When you have something pop up in your head, you'll write it down?
Yeah, I'll write it down or I'll do a quick sketch. Do you do that too?
I'm like a Post-it or now I have like a planner I carry around. So I've got, like I have, art idea.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I do on this.
Yeah. But it depends. I mean, I don't know. Once I start making it, usually I can finish a piece in a couple of weeks. But it just, and if I'm in the zone, then I'm like, I'll be there all weekend and I'll finish it in a week.
Really?
Yeah.
But it just depends on the mood. And if I'm doing my self-care things, like if I'm not taking care of myself and drinking the water and exercising and doing all that, then it's really hard to find motivation because it's really, in today's world, it's really easy to get down on yourself as a creative and think that you're just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Or
Not doing anything
lose
good
yourself
enough.
in the art, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of artists that just become consumed and almost, in a sense, kind of wither away with it, you know, because they're not having that personal life that you're talking about by trying to stay healthy and, you know, go out and, you know, have fun and, you know, get out a little bit and kind of like re-zen a little bit, you know what I mean? Because when you're staring at something for so long, you can get stuck, I'm sure.
Yeah. But it has been nice getting out and meeting other artists and going to different creative opportunities and events. That's really, really helped me because I'm definitely one to stay at home and like hide behind my phone and watch TV, like definitely. So it's hard.
Yeah, but it's probably nice now. Like I understand that you're more introverted, but going out with your people, like you said, that's probably what it is. It's probably not necessarily that introverted. It's that you just don't care about all this other shit. You know, it's like it's kind of a waste of time for you. And now that you found your people, it's like, oh, I want to be there.
Yeah, well, it's opened up more and more doors. Like, you know, meeting people at Social Success, other entrepreneurs, but then also meeting other artists like Holly and her group. Because she invited me to a little girls' night, and all of us all night were just like, we needed this so bad. But it's just harder the older you get. I mean, I'm in my late 30s now, and it's hard to get people to all get together at once. Everybody's busy. Everybody's doing things. And so
everyone's got their own life. Yeah.
Making friends at this point in your life is more challenging, I think. For sure.
I think common interests is key. Because, I don't want to waste my time going out and doing things just to spend time with people that I don't enjoy doing, Like, no thanks.
Yeah, I know immediately if someone's not for me now. And then I just am just like, I'm over it. Okay.
I think that's a thing of maturity. Like, you're getting older and you're understanding, like, what's a waste of time. I don't have to follow what everybody else does. I want to do what I like. Because even me, like, I have hobbies that I do. I have quite a bit of hobbies that I do. And it has actually, I've lost... not necessarily lost, but I don't spend as much time with the friends that I used to have when I didn't have anything. You know what I mean? When I didn't have my purpose. But it's not that I wouldn't never want to hang out with them. It just so happens that I found in these hobbies my people that I have something common with them. And when we share that experience, it's fun. It's cool to be able to hang out with a bunch of people that we have something to bond over, rather than just, they're your friends, you guys connect, you guys talk, but really you're just bonding over drinking and stuff like that. That's really it. Just a social setting, which can be fun, but I think there's moderation to it.
Well, now I want to be with people who are on my level in that they're driven. Right. They want to live authentically. They want to live a passionate life. They want to live a creative life. And the more I align myself with those who are inspiring me, and it's two-way streets, and we're both going after it and have the same plight.
Is it? Yeah, like you want to be like the least successful of all your friends. Isn't that what they say? Something like that.
But it's also a lonely, weird transition when you realize that there's people in your life who aren't on that same path and aren't driven and doing those things. That's a challenging aspect. Especially, like you said, they kind of lose touch.
And because you can only balance your time so much. And it's not necessarily that you don't want to hang out with them. It's just the fact of like, I've got stuff going on. And like, if we're going to hang out, we kind of have to like schedule, like, I'm sorry, but we kind of have to schedule this. You know what I mean? And but it's a thing, like if they're really your friend, they would understand. Because I have friends that I don't see very much. But when we see each other, it's like, we just seen each other yesterday. Yeah. So
I love that. It's the best people.
Yeah. And if they're really your friend again, it's like they will want that for you. Like to me, even when I don't see a lot of my friends, I'm just happy to see like either on social media or I hear about it or I see them later on and they're doing great. Like that's what I want. Like we don't have to see each other all the time. Like I just want you to be happy, however that is. But
exactly.
But yeah. Another question, too, that I had on my notes here I wanted to ask you, because I'm sure this happens. I'm sure with you as well. The, like, mistakes with wood burning. Oof. How the hell do you fix that? Because once that shit's burnt. Or even you, once it's glued down, I mean, we maybe have a little bit easier, but damn, trying to cut off all that glue and shit like that, I couldn't imagine.
That is something I was attracted to about pyrography. Is like, once it's on there, it's on there. And
it's
if
like
it's
drawing with a
up,
pen or something.
You can't erase it. Now, with wood burning, you can like etch it down and sand it. And if you're not like super deep burning, like there's some pyrographers that do more like shade work and they slowly build up the burn. I go for it. I go hard and hot and deep.
Love it.
But if it's a mistake, I just roll with it and I'll either make the line thicker or I'll go a different direction. And that's part of the beauty of art is like, there will be mistakes. How do you handle them? And how do you make them still say your message and look the way you want it to look?
Happy accidents, right? It's like a lesson in letting go. Because you don't have control of everything, and that's life, and
that's where
you
the creativity
just have to
comes
roll
out
with
of.
the punches. That is
How are we gonna
exactly
fix this?
right.
Let's get creative.
What can we do with this?
Yeah, and I definitely will step away if I made a mistake and I'm frustrated. Then I know, no, I need to just go do something else.
Yeah, I had a tattoo on my chest that has my daughter's name, and I swear to God, I looked at it 30 times before we started. And I was like, yeah, it looks good. It's spelled right. I kept going over and over and over again.
I know.
He put it on me and he had switched. He put, instead of Eliana, he put Elena. So he swapped the A and I. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I was like, I looked at it. And I was like, yeah, man, it looks great. I was like, oh my God. And he's like, what? You got some letters switched up. And he's like, it's okay. We can fix this. And I was kind of freaking out. I was like, fuck. Like, and I wasn't blaming him. It was my fault. Like, he put it on me. He told me to check. But he ended up fixing it, and you can't even tell. But I thought that was so neat because I'm like, you think tattoo, that's permanent. And it's like not a big piece of like a big art piece on it's lettering. So that can get kind of sketch.
I have had wood burnings that I've had to start over because I just the mistakes just not
bad day.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those, but thankfully not a lot. But I'm not an artist who will like send something, especially if it's a commission or a custom. I won't send it to them for approval. I'm like, you get what you get. Like,
yeah.
Because like once you get into that whole like, especially with graphic design, like once you get into the whole like, hey, here's it for approval, and then if some people are cool, some people don't give you a lot of feedback, but the people that are getting into revision 4, 5, and 6, you're in the weeds.
That's a lesson I learned the hard way because I've done graphic design and, take a look. Do you want some changes? And then letting people have changes on fine art is different. It's different,
because people don't know art and they don't know graphic design and they really don't know what's best.
Right. No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've learned to really limit. I give them like 1 round of revisions now with my design stuff and art. No.
The art is what it is.
You mean the customer doesn't know? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I don't think that the customer necessarily has an eye for art. Like they know what they like.
Well, that's the point of them coming to you.
Right.
That's why I understand. Why would you want to micromanage that as a customer? You know what I mean? Like
some people
if
do.
I'm coming to you because you're an artist, I want like when I get tattoos, I'm like, hey, I want this, this, and this. Yeah. Can you shoot me some examples of what you think that like you can do with this? And because you're the artist, like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I know what I want, but I don't know. Like you're going to put your spin on it. I've seen your work because of your portfolio. I like it. So make me something like that. Yeah. Give you the creative control.
I've noticed a big difference in what you're charging. So artists that are charging less will tend to have more difficult clientele. So like, a person who can afford a piece of art between like $100 and $300, for example, they might be more picky. That might be a huge spend for them.
Right.
And they might have to save up. So they will have more emotional investment into that piece and want it to be a certain way because that's a big deal for that person, correct?
Right.
But once I started charging more with my graphic design services and my art services, it's way easier. I mean, people, when $1,000 is a drop in the hat for them, you're not dealing with micromanagers.
Right.
Also, I think you're establishing your value with your price too. So people have more respect for you when you charge them more.
Right.
It's true. It's true. And it's like, how do you value your own art? And it's easy as an artist when you start, because you're like, oh, I'm just starting, I should charge less. But it doesn't negate how many hours you're putting into it.
Well, that's the beauty about the market, right? Is that you can set whatever price that you would like. And if it sells, it sells.
Yeah.
Like, and if it doesn't, then you have to readjust something or wait it out maybe, So I'm sure you can, tweak it here and there. But and you keep mentioning graphic design, and I'm sorry, I don't know much about graphic design. Like what all
I
is
think we do different kinds of design.
Yeah.
I think we do maybe some similar, some different. Yeah.
Okay. Like is graphic design like I know like advertisement and stuff like that?
Sure.
So it could be multiple. It could be a bunch of different things.
Print, web.
Because it's all generated
email,
on the computer, right?
Social media. Not all of it necessarily. Like
okay.
Sometimes there's like hand drawn or handwritten elements to it, but yeah, because
I feel like the guy I was referring to, the AO guy, I think he does that as well.
Nice.
Which is kind of crazy. You guys are all doing the same.
We're all doing the
I think it's an easy like I went into graphic design because I was scared I wouldn't be able to make a living as an artist, which I feel like I could have.
Yeah.
But
it's not that you could, it's not yet, right? I mean, you still could.
Yeah.
I'm sure it gets harder.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the more you wait, it gets harder to take that leap. But
I don't know. Now, I was so concerned. I was a young mom, like I can starve, but she can't. So
Right. Well, that's a whole different.
Gotta make
but
money.
now I'm an empty nester, and like I'm like, well, I can take the risk. Like whatever,
You can.
it's just me. If I have to live in my car, I guess I will. But
Yeah.
And I like
Let's
doing
hope not.
different kinds of projects. So I like doing some print stuff.
yeah,
I like doing, I do a lot of social media designs. That's mostly what I've been doing, some print, like for realtors, different pamphlets. One of our clients is a municipality in Texas, Nassau Bay. And so I have an ad in like the Texas State Guide, travel guide.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
I haven't been doing a lot of print, but last year, for whatever reason, I did. So I have a kind of a portfolio now, which is wild.
Nice. I like doing environmental design, like the inside of buildings and
Ooh, yes.
trade show booths. Those are my favorites. Like something about being able to walk through your design, like, oh, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
But how does it get there? Like what you create it
Mhm.
on the computer, right? I know you say not all
Yeah.
the time, but
Yeah.
it's generally how it's done, right?
Yeah.
And then that is printed and put up in whatever business that purchased it.
It was like like a convention that was at the Sheridan, and actually didn't even get to go over and see it. But
Ew.
I worked with a printer, and they just put the decals up everywhere. and
Right.
I just designed
Right.
it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. So a lot of times I've worked in a lot of like corporate. You send something out, you never see it. Never.
Oh,
It's like,
really?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
there's
designed
no
something
connection
that
to your work.
that
yeah.
was like at the Steelers stadium, a trophy that got presented to someone. Never saw it.
Really?
Oh
You know?
man.
Like,
Yeah. I always feel excited when I get to see it. So
Mhm.
the wine bar and brewery I was talking about, when I first was hired by her, she hired me to do the logo.
Uh-huh.
And then she hired me to do social media management, and it all kind of grew. And she was still opening the business. So it was just a shelf space in the beginning. And then, she did all the construction. And the moment I went there for opening night and saw the sign lit up that I had designed, whoo, your girl was emotional. That was an emotional moment. And then going in and seeing like the logo on all of the cups and there's nothing like seeing your art like in where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like I hear that from a lot of like painters that I know, like just regular construction
Mhm.
painters. And it's funny because you'll be riding with them. They're like, I painted that. I
Mhm.
painted that. And I think that's always so neat because they're just putting color on the wall, but the satisfaction of them doing that and being able to see how beautiful the wall is by not being just plain white,
Yeah.
it's like, or I guess maybe they could have painted it white, but it's kind of cool. It's like they're able to connect to the work that they did. So I couldn't imagine that, especially what you both do. And it's like a intricate, detailed piece of art. So
Yeah, I think it's also common for artists to be in the world of graphic design or in the world of marketing.
Mhm.
Poets are often writers for,
Mhm.
copywriters, things like that.
Right.
It's just really hard to be like just a one trick artist and that's all you make your money on is just your art.
Mhm.
Like she was saying earlier, diversifying is so powerful.
Mhm.
I mean, because you never know where the economy is going to
Yeah.
go.
Exactly.
What do they say? Keep
Yeah.
7 streams of income or something
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
there has to be like the fact that I'm an art director for my 9 to 5, like businesses will need that. It's like I have to have that because it's
Right.
like it's my anchor, but it's still within the realm of a creative world. A lot of artists aren't working in the creative world at all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
Oh,
side
yeah.
hustling their art, but they're working at Starbucks or they're
Oh,
doing
right.
something else.
Right.
And so I find myself very lucky that my 9 to 5, I'm working in a creative space and my side hustle is art.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something
Yeah.
you're interested in.
Yeah.
That's a good perspective because sometimes I've taken that for granted. Like, this isn't what I want to do. I'm just doing corporate brochures. Or
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all do it.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but you're still in that realm, and it's a very unique thing. And not a lot of people get that.
This is
opportunity.
true. This is true.
Mhm.
So many people I went to school with, they're like,
I know a lot of people who went to Kansas City Art Institute and aren't doing shit with their art.
yeah.
They're not doing anything.
I
a lot of
passed
people.
by that. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that was there.
Oh,
And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know we had one of these there. Yeah. I've never been in there.
it's a
Is
big
it
deal.
pretty neat? Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like one of the things that I thought wasn't I thought it didn't make me an artist because I didn't have an art degree. I've done all this without a degree, by the way, just like fucking winging it. But I was like, oh, I don't have a degree from Kansas City Art Institute or any art institute. I'm not legit. But the more people I meet who have gone to Kansas City Art Institute, it just kind of ruined them.
Oh, really?
Because
they mold you in their way, or
you got to learn how to hustle if you want to be an artist, and they don't teach you that in art school. Right. So, you know, I know we've talked about kind of our upbringing, and like we've had to like just make for ourselves and do for ourselves. And I think that resilience is what helps you make it as an artist.
So they just kind of teach you the art side of it, but they don't teach you the
strategy of it, the actual like skill. And then they do a lot of critiques, which I think that is what kills their creativity. Because who
knows who's critiquing it, and if it's there, and how do you critique?
It's just really hard for like a young artist, especially. Like I understand that critiques, there's a place for constructive criticism,
right?
But young artists are so sensitive,
and
it just a lot of it. The people that I know personally that have come out of KCAI are just crushed, and their confidence is shot. But people like Holly and I. We just get out there and do the work, you know. I call it a flaw, but I'm one of those people who's like, I can fucking do this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll figure this out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a flaw. I think that's a good thing.
Well, thanks, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'm just.
I took on too much.
Yeah, I took on too much. But I think, you know, they want an artist to be a certain way, but they don't teach the marketing side. They don't teach the hustle side.
You would think that would be involved, right? If they want them to make it. I mean, what do they plan? They're just going to draw in their basement forever? Like, that's not cool.
I don't know. I don't think it's a thought. I had a drawing teacher tell me, well, if you want to do this, like learn business, learn how to have a business. This is a business. Right. And it was impactful.
Yeah. Learn how to market yourself is what I would say to artists. Like learn how to put yourself out there and tell your story and share your process. And...
It's hard to sell yourself, you know, because you feel, even I have an issue with that as well. Like me doing this, and like I want to focus on the guests. That's my main priority. But I've seen that if they don't have a connection with the host, then they're like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like they want to get to know that person as well. But I feel so cringy when I'm doing some of the stuff that I do. Like I'm like trying to write the caption that's not too much, but then it's also got to be appealing. And I'm like battling with that. I'm like, I don't know. And
you got to sell yourself, but don't look too overconfident. You know,
or too much. Like I'm trying to like be like a used car salesman or something. But but it's weird because I'll look at, you know, your guys' stuff and I'm like, I don't think that at all when I look at it, but I'm doing it to myself.
We're our own harsh critic.
Worst critic for sure.
It's very difficult, but you really are good at getting conversations out of people and the storytelling side of it.
I appreciate that.
That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not easy, you know, it's you have to like it, you know what I mean? And I know podcasting has become this new thing of, you know, everybody wants to do one, and that's great. I think everybody, if you want to, I think you should give it a go. I mean, why not? Who knows what it could turn into? But it is hard. It's a grind, like you said. I mean, I do this for free, but I like that I get to choose the people who I want to talk to. Yeah. Because I don't just have anybody on. I mean, there's been people that have contacted me and it just didn't work, you know, or which is very rare, like very rare, because I can usually talk to pretty much anybody, but sometimes it's not there. And but it's cool because that way I can choose who I like, who I'm interested in, what I see is cool, have them come on, get to know them. And I don't get burnt out from it because I'm not having to interview people that I'm like, oh God, what am I going to talk about today with this person? I don't even know, you know, like it's not even anything that interests me at all. And, but then sometimes I'll have somebody on where I'm like, well, it's interesting, but I don't know if that's really that interesting. Like but maybe because I don't know that much about it, let me have them on and let me learn about it. And then it surprises me. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty neat. So, it depends. Yeah,
because you're not an artist, right? And you're talking to two artists over here.
Yeah. So. Well, and I'm not an artist at all, but I loved art since a very young age. One being my cousin who I talked about earlier. Used to love his art a lot, still do. I have an uncle that used to draw for the funnies. I think that's what they called it in the paper.
Yay!
Yeah.
Like comic stuff?
I think so. My Uncle
funnies,
Ruben, he died when I was
like that.
very, very young. But I know I used to have like a couple of his pieces, and I have a bunch of drawings that I used to do when I was younger. I actually have a drawing I made of him that I submitted to some type of Latino art magazine. It was so long ago. I was I don't even remember who I sent that to. So I was into art. I loved it. I used to do like a lot of like Dragon Ball Z stuff, like cartoon stuff.
Right on.
But I was one of those, high school kind of came around and having fun was more important and stuff, working and stuff. So I just kind of,
good for you for having fun in high school. I did not have fun in high school.
Well, I mean, it's a good and bad, know, because then I lost something that if I would have continued doing, maybe I would have had like something that I idolized from people like yourselves, that you have something that you can go do on your own that's therapeutic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have that, I do, I have certain hobbies that I can do on my own that I really enjoy. But I think creating something out of nothing is crazy to me, like very unique. And to have that skill, I think is really overlooked.
I liken it to motherhood. Now, I'm not a mother like Holly, but it's like you're making something out of nothing. And so I don't have kids. So like my art is like my babies.
Right. Yeah.
It's like if it wasn't there before me and now it's here. And if I think about it too much, it kind of freaks me out. But
I think of it as like an expression, just something. I think that about yoga, about cooking,
or like music and stuff like that.
Yeah, I really admire musicians. I've talked to a couple of I've kind of been getting into the local like music crowd, just different, musicians performing at the Rhino in North Kansas City, and the bravery it takes to get up there on stage. Like how terrified I was to go to my first art gallery show and I wasn't even on a stage. I can't even imagine what those kind of creatives do. That I admire that. That is.
I've never understood how the AO guy, he freaking draws in front of people and they're just watching him from behind. I'm like, dude, is that not weird? He's like, well, usually I put my headphones in. I'm usually good. I'm like, yeah, but that's, I don't know. That'd be kind of nerve wracking. It's like if I did a live podcast in front of like 100 people sitting right there. It'd be
like a
nerve-wracking.
studio audience.
Yeah. Do hundreds of people watch the video? Yeah, but it's in their, like they're not there to watch me, and see everything.
Yeah, so. If I think about it, I'll get two in my head. That's why a lot of artists, though, have been finding success on social media with the live streams. That's really popular right now, or any industry right now. Like people are just setting up their phones and they're just working at their desk and they're live streaming it, especially on TikTok.
But even live stream's different because I've done a live podcast when me and a couple of buddies were watching the UFC fights. I'm fine with that going live on YouTube because they're not there. Like I know they're watching, I can see it on my laptop, but they're not there. So it's like this weird disconnection compared to if I had a stage at a bar and there was 100 people and I was trying to do it. The
both
nerves.
of it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, the nerves.
Yeah, all of it's nerve-wracking to me. But to be in front of people, like at Social Success, we have like speaker presentations, and I was on a panel, and I couldn't eat lunch. My presentation was right after the lunch break, and I couldn't eat because I knew I would have a hard time. I have a really hard time with that. I'm getting better.
Me too. I spoke at GEW this year, and
how'd that go?
Good. It went really well, and yoga has helped me so much to be able to like talk in front of people and feel comfortable and just like go with the flow. But
are you teaching?
I am.
Nice. Yeah.
But I shook for like the first.
Oh,
I don't know how long, and they recorded, and the girl she's like, no, everyone does. It's fine. Like no one's even gonna notice.
Yeah,
and it was.
That's
fine.
why I go in with pockets during those presentations. I'm a pocket girly.
A pocket
girl. I don't want to shake.
Yeah. What do I do with my hands?
Oh, you go full Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby. Like, put your hands down.
No idea. It's tough. It's really tough. It just there's so many layers to putting yourself out there as anybody, but just to put yourself in front of people.
It's nerve-wracking.
But now that you brought up yoga, I'm interested because I've always wanted to try yoga. Where do you go?
So I have been teaching Smoga. So it's weed and yoga.
Oh, I didn't know you guys smoked. I was about to roll up a joint earlier. Are we down today?
Yep.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. All right. We'll do this.
Yeah. So I actually met this artist on Facebook, and she's like, "Hey, anybody want to teach yoga at my studio?" She does puff and paint classes.
Wow.
Ooh, I've wanted to do one of those.
Where is this at?
West Bottoms.
Oh,
It's
dope. I love the West
Amy
Bottoms.
D. Sitter Art. I
What
keep
is
saying
it?
her name wrong. Amy D. Sitter Art.
Amy
Learn
D.
to
Sitter
paint
Art.
with Amy
Okay.
is
cool.
her social.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been teaching. Now we do 2 classes. So it's Sunday morning Smoga. It's 90 minutes.
Nice.
It's a nice, like, relaxing flow. Then we kind of like get into it. But we have like different smoke breaks, and they are sponsored by a weed company that comes in and they pop up shop, and some people could
What?
shop, and it's a vibe. It's so much fun.
I
It
couldn't
looks like
imagine.
a vibe. I really want to go.
Like yoga high, like I smoke from time to time when I go to jiu-jitsu, and it's like a totally different feeling. Like you're like in a cool ass flow state,
Yeah.
doing shit that you're like, oh fuck, I would never do this sober. What the fuck am I? Who is this person? You know, like, it's pretty neat when like it takes it like, I think it just gets you out of your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes then you start thinking about life and
Well, it depends on
overanalyzing
what
shit.
strain and
Right.
Sure.
And I'm a
What time
sativa
of
guy.
Yeah,
So.
the environment, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. It's so much fun. Towards the second half of class, sometimes I'm like, which side do we just do?
Yeah. Did we do?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh,
But it's fun, and man, it's been responsive. She keeps adding more classes. So
I've noticed.
Really?
I am so happy for you.
I love
I'm
it.
definitely gonna go.
I was kind of nervous about it because I'm like, I work with all these different corporate. I'm like, should I like put this out there?
The
it's
corporate
become,
clients. You don't want
yeah,
them to know.
like I don't want to turn them off, but
Yeah.
also
Yeah, that's so stupid to judge
I'm
somebody
kind of
smoking
like,
weed.
maybe
you know?
if I'm just going to be myself and put myself out there how I am, and if you don't like that, you're just not for me.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
okay.
Be you. Yeah, and you'll attract your people.
I call it a litmus test for my personality. Like when I meet new people, especially because I'm meeting a lot of new people right now, I just give everyone all of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is me.
Yeah.
I'm going to cuss. I'm crass. I'm ornery. I'm going to make terrible jokes.
Right.
Take it or leave it.
I feel like that's real though. Like
Yeah,
that's a real
But
person.
I do it right from the get-go.
Sure.
So that way I just know if they're not for me.
Good.
I
Get it
think
out
that's
the
a
way.
great
Don't
way to
waste your
be.
time.
I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, or their time. Shit.
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I'm doing you a favor. That's so great that you're finding that people are
Yeah,
responsive to
yeah,
it.
and I've wanted to teach a regular yoga class, so I got my certification. I've done yoga for like 20 years, but I got my certification during the pandemic after I lost my job and I was starting my business. I'm like, okay, this can be somehow I can make money doing this or whatever. And then
Is this
a full-time
downtown
job.
or is this up
Yeah,
north?
it's downtown in the West Bottoms.
Cool.
Yeah.
What? Oh, so it's the same place. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, then I got a full-time job and I kind of let it go, and
Yeah.
now I've slowed down with design, but I've picked up with other businesses. So yeah, it's been a blessing. I'm excited for it.
Are y'all the only Smoga place around here?
There is somebody else.
Oh, they're
doing
popping up?
it.
I was about to say, I've never even heard of Smoga. I've heard of hot yoga, which I wanted to try because I heard it's really
I don't
good.
like
You know what I just signed up for? Kansas City Fashion Week?
Oh,
They're doing puppy yoga. And I've always wanted to go to a puppy yoga class, and I just bought ticket today.
I'll have to look into that.
I got invited to a fashion show. I had Joseph Termini on here. He's a photographer, and he invited me to some type of fashion show. I've never been to one before, but I would like to check one out.
I really want to go to the Fashion Week this coming up.
I do too. I missed like last year.
I'm just not much of a I don't really I like nice clothes and stuff like that, but I'm not really hip to what's all like in. And then sometimes I see some of those fashion shows. I'm like, who would really wear that?
Yeah,
It's a little over the top, but I guess it's art.
It's art. Yeah.
It is art. It's art that you wear, and
Yeah.
I think and it's another aspect of Kansas City art people. We have a lot of fashion people here that
Right.
are pretty fantastic.
We have a great art scene, fashion, music.
Comedy, a lot of good comedians coming out right now.
Yeah, I know.
There's
Sure.
a dude named Aaron Scarborough, I believe is his name, and he's been doing like art and comedy together.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here in Kansas City. If I ever get some balls, I'm going to do an open mic and do
Oh,
comedy.
shit. Yeah.
That's my pipe dream. So I'm just putting it out there in the universe.
Do it.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone says. Just do it, but it's terrifying.
I mean, the worst comes to shove, you get booed off stage, or whatever, or sure, nobody claps or nobody laughs, and you learn your lesson. And really, they say you're supposed to go back.
Yep. You're supposed to just
keep
get
going.
used to the bombing.
Yeah,
just
get used
keep used to it. But there's a lot of cool creative scenes here in Kansas City.
I would suggest, though, you probably need to do your homework on the jokes, because some people just think that they're just going to show up in front of a mic and make people laugh.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot different than that.
I bet it is. I mean, generally speaking, I can make most people chuckle.
You're good. I mean, I feel like you're a great writer and comedian. You're a comedic writer.
Thanks. When I was at the gallery show, this random lady asked me if I was a comedian, and I was like, "Oh my god, universe!"
So she said
you were a good comedian. That's kind of nice.
She asked me if I was a comedian.
Oh,
and I was like, "No," but it's funny that you bring that up, because I'm in this phase in my life where I really need to just try new stuff and put myself out there.
That's how I like to live. I always tell myself I wish I could live 1,000 lives, because there's just so many things I want to do in life. And why sell yourself short and then just be the same person your entire life? That's not fun.
Yeah. My friend Russ made a really good point. He said every 10 years you turn into a different person.
Yeah.
So like from the time you're a baby to 10, you're different.
Yeah.
10 to 20, 20 to 30. 30 to 40 is a fucking trip. I'll tell you that right now. But you're a totally different person every decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to talk to you about how to get sponsored by a weed company. I feel like
I don't know how she did that, but
Nature Med, hit me up, man. I buy your shit all the time. Down the street.
Get sponsored by a dispensary. You should get that.
Yeah, it would be nice. At least hook me up with some free weed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, artist wise here in Kansas City though, like, is there someone that like is at the top of? Well, I guess it's kind of hard to say the top, but who are some of the people that like are kind of your figures to go to?
My favorite local artist. I mean, I really like.
Okay, I'm sure you have. I'm sure it's hard to have a favorite, right?
Right.
But I mean, maybe like a list of people like you look at their shit and like admire and.
Yeah, there's a guy named Taj, and I saw his billboard every day. He did this thing called Spray KC, where he was getting artists, him and other artists were getting like art up on billboards. So I thought that was like a big deal. And then my friend Ben, who I recently met, he submitted art to PBR and got his art on a billboard in Kansas City. So I don't know why billboard seems like a big deal to me, but
yeah.
I mean, it is pretty cool.
And then, like I mentioned, Aaron, he's the comedian also doing art. I think that's not been done before, and it's extremely unique. And
yeah, I wonder how he does that.
He just does acrylic painting, but they're just he's so witty.
While
and
he's
smart.
doing comedy, yeah, that's
yeah,
nice.
like he does the paintings and he brings them into the set, and I think that's extremely forward of which is creativity and all that.
Yeah, I say I don't know how he would do that, but I also went to the Rhino in North Kansas City. Have you guys ever been there?
Yeah.
It's fun, very fun.
Big fan.
And I went to go see Danny Phantom. He's a rapper here locally, and he was doing I guess you'd call it an open mic, because that's pretty much I think what they are. Like it's just anybody can go up and sign up.
Yeah.
And this guy came on, and I thought he was just going to sing some country music because he had like a cowboy hat on and stuff. But then a dog comes out of nowhere, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Nice.
And so he brings the dog up on stage, and he's singing, and then he made like the dog sing with him, like with treats and stuff like that. It was weird, but really cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, really, really cool. So I say, how the hell would you be able to do comedy with art? I can't imagine that. But I also seen a dog singing with a person. So
yeah,
I wouldn't put it past that it worked.
Yeah.
But
do you have any favorite artists here in KC that you know?
I'm so
Besides
bad with names. I'm so bad with names.
Here.
But I'm always at events. So if I have a chance to get out of my booth and go look around,
your friend Sid and Gray, she does jewelry.
Oh my gosh, actually she did these, which don't tell her. So she made these and I was like, I love them. I almost immediately lost this. And so I had her made me another one. But
stunning. Yeah, jewelry artists. We have a lot of jewelry artists here.
And this is Whiskey and Bone.
I like Whiskey and Bone.
Yeah.
I don't
well, in the West Bottoms too, I had on, I hope I say her name right, Vania Soto. And she has the, what's it Moss, I think it's called. It
I wanna
stands
go
for
check that studio out.
something art studio. I can't remember, but she has a really neat art studio down in the West Bottoms. And she does really neat artwork, like really, really cool artwork. But I don't know if I've had any of the artists on, to be honest. I'm trying to think. I'm bad with names too. And memory. I forget so much stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in Kansas City, like I was just thinking, I don't really know any like the Van Goghs of Kansas City, you know what I mean? Like type people.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was any that
There's a chick, she's a jewelry artist named Macbex. I like her stuff. She does like cut out jewelry. And then there was a chick I went to high school with out in Kansas City, Kansas, named Kelsey Pike, and she started a place called Cherry Pick Collective, which is over by Grinders. And that's kind of an art incubator too. And she does printmaking, and she like makes her own paper, and she's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of that too. A lot of artists right now are like making their stuff from scratch. So a lot of like the fashion artists are making stuff from scratch and like reusing old clothes, especially from like the crappy places like Shine and Temu. They're taking that and turning it into these art pieces, which are pretty rad.
That's neat. Yeah, that's really neat. Whenever you get stuck too, I was thinking about this, like, what do you do, like, when you're in the middle of, like, working on something? Are you, like, listen to music, like, to kind of zone you out and stuff like that, or podcasts, or you just kind of just raw dogging it the entire time?
Are you not a raw dogger? I'm a raw dogger.
Music always.
Really?
Yeah.
I should. It distracts me.
I gotta have something on. I can't raw dog
I'm a
8-hour
psycho.
shift.
I go on planes without a book or nothing.
Oh, yeah, so you're a raw dogger.
I just raw dog life.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And you're not listening to anything?
Yeah, I'm a psycho.
Just everybody coughing and breathing and chatting?
Headphones?
No, nothing. I look at the clouds.
Wow.
It's like the only time though on a plane is and generally when I'm making art that I can actually like everything just gets really quiet, because usually like my brain's fucking psycho and there's so many thoughts going on. So I just like the silence.
And that kind of drowns it out?
Yeah, I just like, and then when I go to sleep at night too, like I sleep in just straight silence if I can.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a guy, like, he would always put on, he told me rain. The sound of rain would help him go to sleep. Yeah. He would like turn on rain, it'd be like raindrops in the background and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess, maybe. I mean, I guess when you open up your windows, it's kind of soothing, you know?
Well, I lived in Independence. I graduated from Truman High School, and actually trains help me go to sleep, because there's a train that goes through Independence.
Same.
And so, yeah, if I know that sounds opposite.
Yeah, that would annoy the shit
out
of me.
Usually silence, but like seriously, if there's trains in the background,
soothing.
I can sleep with the train.
I agree. That's the sound I remember hearing all my life.
Yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot of trains.
I kind of like the city hum in my, you know, the streetcar. Ding, ding. I don't even notice it.
You don't even hear it?
No.
And the yelling
it
homeless
nice
man.
That was a different noise that's not there all the time. So
living in the city is also a lot of barking dogs.
Really?
So I live over by Clay Como Ford plant, like pretty near here.
Yeah.
And just a lot of stray barking dogs. Yeah. It's all the same
Clay
to
Como's
me.
a whole nother deal too. I hate driving through Clay Como.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah.
It's not great. But when I'm actually making art, I usually just like silence. And if I'm listening to anything, I'm listening to Motown. Because I grew up on like 50s, 60s music. So that's the only, because like that kind of music.
Like some
just makes
Smokey Robinson type
music. Yeah,
music,
just like, you know, Mamas and the Papas. Just a lot of fun 60s stuff.
I know, I'm so bad
The
with
Righteous
names.
Brothers.
Try to tell me to name oldies. I love oldies, but yeah, I
Aretha
fuck
Franklin,
up the names.
like those old Motown, that's the only time I get up and I dance, which I'm a terrible dancer, by the way.
Really?
Fucking terrible. Got no rhythm, zero rhythm.
Is this why you dance on your videos?
No, I don't dance on my videos. I danced once, but it was
Yeah,
bad.
I thought I'd seen one.
Yeah, and it did well because I think people like that,
Yeah.
but I have no rhythm at all. But I do like to dance silly with my dog.
Aww.
That's funny.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, like, see, now I know.
Now
Like,
everybody, that's what they want. No, it's bad.
We want Meg dancing with the dog.
It's so bad in that one time a friend invited me to her wedding, and she had a stop motion photographer at the reception, which is a really cool concept. And then later we watched the video, and I'm so fucking drunk, and I'm just in this scene right in the foreground of this terrible stop motion video, just robot dancing. I don't know, it was so bad. I apologize because she paid that person for that. It's bad.
Oh man,
It's so
robot
bad.
dancing.
It's just like these weird choppy hands. I don't know. My hands can do other stuff, but I go full Barbie with it. Bad.
I'm about to karate chop somebody.
It's not good.
Dude, my playlist is crazy. I'm over here looking at my playlist right now. It's like I've got like the Billy Paul, Elvis Presley, and then all of a sudden just, I don't know, some random Billie Eilish song, Wildflower.
Wow.
Like I know. It's
Mine's
just
like
I
that.
look insane, and then it's like Godsmack, I Stand Alone. Like, what is wrong with me
I
right
haven't
now?
heard that in a long time. Back in my emo punk days.
If somebody went through my playlist, they'd be like, "Who is this guy? What the fuck?"
Yeah. I'm trying to listen to more new artists now locally and stuff like that, new stuff. But I definitely am one of those
But I don't even
cliche,
know.
I listen to the
I don't even
normal.
know who they are. Like, if you ask me, like, who Billie Eilish is, I only know that she sings. That's it. Like, I don't know like everything about them. I don't even know how old she is. You know what I mean? But I like the song.
Yeah.
But I don't really dive in depth on artists. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of enjoy the song. I don't have to know the
Well, they're
backstory.
really
Unless I
into
really
some-
like them.
Yeah. Who are you really
Yeah.
liking right now?
I'm like really, I've been listening to a lot of rap and like Glorilla.
Glorilla is
Glorilla.
amazing.
Kendrick Lamar.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
Big fan, big fan.
Spotify has created my hype running playlist and
Nice.
it hypes me up.
Yeah.
It's
Glorilla will do that to you.
You remember when they did like your top songs and artists?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
My shit was weird. My
Mine
top
was
song
weird,
was
too.
"Gift of a Thistle" from Braveheart.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I must be going through some shit.
Interesting.
That is like a
I know.
yeah.
Mine was
I
a bunch of yoga music.
I surprise myself sometimes.
Nice.
I do.
I do like soundtracks. I'm a very big soundtrack person. I love pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a good soundtrack, like I'm there.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, Forrest Gump had a solid soundtrack.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump has a
Really?
solid hell yeah.
Oh, it's a great. Yeah, it is.
That's a
good
fantastic. Come
Yeah.
on.
Like Fortunate Son, they had on there. What else they got? I don't know. I love Forrest Gump, but I can't think of a song.
Yeah, Kansas on that soundtrack. And then even like there was movies that I grew up on that not a lot of people seen. There was one called Josie and the Pussycats, and that had a fantastic soundtrack.
I don't remember that one.
It was based on like an old cartoon.
Huh.
It's the Spice
Yeah.
Girl.
And the chick that was in it, she was in She's All That with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
She's the one that played Josie.
Yeah.
All that. That's an old movie.
Yeah. I'm dating myself with the She's All That. But
Those were good movies
I
back in the day.
I
though.
like some soundtracks.
I feel like they don't make they make good movies nowadays, but I just feel like the whole '90s, early 2000s feel was something else.
Yeah.
Like,
It was.
on
I
a
agree.
movie. You know
That
what
Thing
I mean?
You Do had a good soundtrack with Tom Hanks. Did you ever see that? Anyway.
What is it?
That Thing You Do. Anyway, come on,
never saw
guys.
it.
Tom Hanks is in a lot of movies. Now that I think about it.
But those, I mean, I was a 90s, early 2000s kiddo, so for sure
Yeah, same.
resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Braveheart, though. I mean, that's emotional. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I work out. I do jujitsu. I have a weird playlist. So
Yeah, what
I
do
don't
you
know.
listen to when you do jujitsu?
Anything. Usually, like
Elvis?
for some reason they call it divorced dad rock.
Oh,
Yeah, like
Divorced
Creed,
that's
dad
specific.
like
Ooh.
Creed and shit.
Creed's having
Yeah.
a moment. Creed's having a moment.
Dude, it
they're
is.
retouring on for that
I
album.
couldn't name you a song, but I could fucking sing some of it if you put it on.
I used
So,
to be
yeah.
a big fan back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Listen to like
Cranberries.
98.9, remember? The Rock.
Yeah. I
Johnny
used to
Depp.
always go to Rock Fest. When I was, oh my God. I cringe now thinking
Oh, I've heard
about
some
it.
crazy shit about Rockfest. Like, there's a lot of crazy shit that I've never been though. Never been.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
I
not a
went
mosh
once.
pit guy.
Yeah, no. I'm,
I got
Do they
rained
still
on
do
and
that?
muddy, and I was
yeah,
like,
you were there during the mud
I was
mud
like,
fest.
this is not for me.
It was awful.
Yeah.
So bad.
This is cold.
Well, I don't want to hold you guys up any longer, so I appreciate you coming on. I really do. Is there anything before we wrap this up that you have coming up that you kind of want to shout out or
Yes.
leave off on?
Thank you. I have 2 things I want to shout out. One is Social Success Events, which is the most fun marketing event ever. It's how Holly and I met. And that's happening in April, hosted by my company, Fun Love Media.
Oh, cool.
And it's happening in Houston. Super fun. And then the second thing I want to promote is the fact that I'm in my first gallery show.
Yeah.
At 80 Santa Fe Art Gallery in Overland Park. Please check it out between now and April 12th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Me?
Yeah.
What am I doing now? I'll come to yoga. Come to Smoga.
Hell
That's
yeah.
all I have, really.
Nice.
Come to Smoga.
At the moment. I think, I'm going to be popping up for First Friday at Grinders. So
Oh, that's
it's
neat.
the first one, April 2nd.
Nice.
Nice.
I
I'll
don't
be
think
there.
I'm doing any pop-ups until then.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you both.